will be full. So that is it. So today I am going to start with the topic simple, complex and compound sentences. This is a part of the basic grammar of unit 1 that is there. So today we are going to do two things. We are going to understand how to identify simple, complex and compound sentences and what is the structure of those sentences. We are going to learn that. So when I say what is a simple sentence, is there anyone like I'm going to ask you a few questions on and off, and you can raise your hand to answer that, or you can go into the chat box and type out your answer. Any way works. So I like to have this class, this particular lecture, to be a little more interactive. Is there anyone here who can tell me the definition, or not exactly a definition, the meaning of a simple sentence, the meaning of a complex and a meaning of a compound sentence? Is there anyone? We are 64 students here. Anyone wants to try?
Miss,
Yes, please.
a simple sentence is only a sentence which has one clause.
One
And
clause, okay.
yes, and a compound sentence maybe it must be having two clauses, independent clauses actually, and complex sentence, I have no idea.
Okay, good. You have given me the meaning of a simple sentence and a compound sentence. Anybody would like to tell me what is a complex sentence? Okay, so she has mentioned about who is the person who just spoke? May I know your name?
Khushigala.
Kushigala, you just mentioned about a simple sentence having one clause. So can
Clause.
you tell me what is a clause?
um Miss, I have no idea.
Okay, anyone else who would like to answer this question? What is a clause? All right, let me explain to you. There are two things you need to know before you get into identifying simple, complex and compound sentences. First, you need to know what is a clause, and next you need to know what is a phrase. So when you say what is a clause, it is that part of a sentence that contains a verb, V-E-R-B, verb, which is an action word. And phrase is that part of a sentence that does not contain a verb. Let me share the screen and explain it to you. So first let me tell you, I'm going to write here a clause. A clause is a part of a sentence that contains a verb, and phrase is that part of a sentence that does not contain a verb. Now I'm going to just one person can mute and tell me, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, now let me give you an example. The train is leaving the station. In this sentence, which is the verb, which is the action word? You have the, yes. Is it just
Leaving.
is it just leaving, or is it is leaving?
Is leaving.
Correct.
Leaving.
So can you tell me why is it is leaving? Why are you saying that is leaving is the verb and not only the word leaving? Because leaving is the main verb, of course, but is a auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is a helping verb, and you have auxiliary verbs such as the following: is, was, are, am.
Ma'am, do you call them modal auxiliaries?
No, we are now here trying to understand what is an auxiliary verb and what is a main verb. So we will stick to that. About modal auxiliaries, I will explain in another class when we come to that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because I don't want people confused with many terms. So today we will stick to what is a clause and a phrase. So when I say is, was, are, were, and am, these are 5 auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. And whenever they come in a sentence, you have to include them as a verb. So that is why it is an auxiliary verb. All right. So when I say the train is leaving the station, since it contains a verb, it is called a clause. Now, if I just modify this sentence to write it as the train mm, the train having 12 coaches. Train having 12 coaches is leaving the station. Now let us look at this part of the sentence, having 12 coaches. I don't want you to confuse that having is a verb, because having is not a verb. You may wonder why having is not a verb, because whenever there is a verb having ing, just as in leaving, it has to have an auxiliary verb such as is, was, are, were, or am. If it does not have an auxiliary verb and it is an ing word, then it is not a verb. It is called a gerund. Gerund, gerund. Now, let us understand then what is this having 12 coaches. It is a description of the train. It is an adjective, something that we are describing the train having 12 coaches, but there is no verb here. So having 12 coaches becomes the phrase, and the clause is the train is leaving the station. So the whole sentence, the train having 12 coaches is leaving the station, is having one main clause and one phrase. So you can call it a simple sentence. But we will come to what is the definition of simple, complex and compound sentences a little later. I would like to discuss one more example to you. For example, the boy with the blue cap is my brother. Look at this sentence. In this sentence, can anybody tell me which is the verb? Action word.
With.
With is a preposition. So verb and action word, correct, is. So let me change is into the red font because that is the verb. Now every sentence in English should have a verb. If it does not have a verb, then it is not a complete sentence. So definitely one clause has to be there because one verb has to be there in the sentence. Now let us now understand which is the clause in this example. In this example, the boy is my brother is the clause. because it has a subject. The boy is the verb and my brother is the complement. Subject, verb, complement. Let us now look at this part with the blue cap. This is a phrase. It is that part of a sentence that does not contain a verb. So that is why it is called a phrase. Now, please understand that. I'd like everyone else to mute yourself, please. Now, let us understand that in a simple sentence, you have one main clause. Compulsory. One main clause is compulsory. Phrase is optional. So I am going to write in bracket here, phrase is optional. So if you have one main clause and one phrase, or one main clause and 2 or 3 phrases, it is still called a simple sentence. The 2 examples that we have here are examples of simple sentences. They both have one main clause and one phrase. Now I am mentioning to you main clause, then you would understand what is a main clause and what is a subordinate clause. A clause that stands on its own. For example, it can form a complete sentence on its own, is called a main clause. But if there is a clause that is having a verb, but it cannot stand on its own, and it has to depend on a main clause in order to make a complete sentence, then it is called a subordinate clause. A subordinate clause is also called a dependent clause. Now let me come back to the first sentence. The train having 12 coaches, if I change that to the train that is having 12 coaches, then I have included is here. I have included is along with having. Now it becomes a verb because it is an ing word which is having an auxiliary verb. So then that is a verb. And when I say it is a verb, that means it is also a clause because a clause has a verb. Now let me put this in bracket, this in bold. And now what happens? That is having 12 coaches turns into a subordinate clause. The train is leaving the station turns into it is already a main clause. So then when you have a sentence with a main clause and with a subordinate clause, that becomes a complex sentence. So I am going to type out in my next line, what is a complex sentence? It has minimum one main clause and one subordinate clause. This is compulsory. What is optional? It can have more subordinate clauses, but it cannot have more main clauses. Because if it has more than one main clause, it is no longer going to be a complex sentence. It is going to be a compound sentence. But in a complex sentence, what is the basic requirement? One main clause and one subordinate clause is the basic requirement. Now, if I want to convert this example into a complex sentence, that is, the boy with the blue cap is my brother. It is a simple sentence because it has one main clause and one phrase. If I want to convert that into a complex sentence, then what I have to do is I'm going to keep the main clause untouched. Nothing I'm going to change in the main clause. But I am going to change the phrase into a subordinate clause because I need one subordinate clause at least in order to make it into a complex sentence. So if I want to convert a phrase into a clause, I should include a verb into it. And how will I include a verb? I have this phrase with the blue cap. I can change it to who is wearing the blue cap or wearing a blue cap. Now, who is wearing a blue cap becomes a subordinate clause because is wearing is the verb, but it is not a main clause. If I just tell you this sentence, the boy is my brother, it looks like a complete sentence and it makes sense to you. So then what happens? You know it is a main clause because it can stand on its own. But if I just tell you, listen to me, who is wearing a blue cap, but this is not a question. I am not asking you, hello students, who here in this class is wearing a blue cap? It's not a question. I'm just giving you a statement who is wearing a blue cap without the question mark. Then that is not a question sentence. That is actually a dependent clause. Or if I say the train is leaving the station, it makes complete sense to you because it looks like a complete sentence, and that is why it is a main clause. But if I say, dear students, that is having 12 coaches, you would want to know what is having 12 coaches and in what context I am talking about these words. Then that is a dependent clause because it does not give complete meaning like a complete sentence. That is why it is a dependent clause. So now we have learned that a complex sentence has one main clause and one subordinate clause. Now let us go to the third one, which is the compound sentence. Here you should have minimum 2 main clauses. This is necessary to make it a compound sentence. But what are optional? There can be more main clauses and there can be subordinate clauses also. So if I have so if I have 2 main clauses and 2 subordinate clauses, it is a compound sentence. If I have 2 main clauses and 4 subordinate clauses, then also it is a compound sentence. If I have only 2 main clauses, then also it is a compound sentence. If I have 3 main clauses and no subordinate clause, still it is a compound sentence. If I have 3 main clauses and 3 subordinate clauses, even then it is a compound sentence. So optional, many main clauses and many subordinate clauses can be there, but basic minimum 2 main clauses have to be there for it to be called a compound sentence. Now I would like you to please take a screenshot of this so that you can get this very clearly, that simple sentence 1 main clause, phrase optional, complex 1 main 1 subordinate minimum, more main clauses optional, and compound 2 main clauses minimum, more main clauses, more subordinate clauses optional. If you have this structure or this explanation very clearly in your mind, then you will come to know how to convert a simple into a complex or how to convert it into a compound sentence, and you will also be able to identify what type of sentence it is. So in the examination, you will not have a question like identify whether it is simple, complex or compound, but you are going to get sentences as in convert this sentence into a complex sentence. They will not even tell you which type of a sentence it is, that you will have to know by identifying it. Or convert this into a simple sentence. So conversion or transformation of sentences is there in your exam. So it comes in question 1 as part of basic grammar. Now let me go to another screen that I can share with you. I have here 10 sentences for you, and I can make them a little big. Yes, so that you can read it well. One by one, can somebody identify these sentences for me? Let us go to the, so when you know the answer, you can unmute yourself and give me the answer. So let us go to the first sentence. We met rather few people who spoke English. If you want to know how to identify whether it is a simple or a complex or a compound sentence, I have one tip for you. You can first identify how many verbs are there. When you know the number of verbs, it will be easy for you to understand. Because if only one verb is there, then you know it has to be a main clause and it has to be a simple sentence. And supposing you have two verbs, two action words in the sentence, then you will have to identify, chalo, one to will definitely be a main clause, because without a main clause, a sentence cannot be there. We have to identify whether the second verb is making that part of a sentence a main clause or a subordinate clause. For that, you will read that part of a sentence alone and check with yourself. Does it sound like a complete sentence? Does it sound like it has complete meaning? If it does, then it is a main clause. If it does not make much sense and it still has a verb, then it is a subordinate clause. Now we know if one main and one subordinate is there, then it will be complex sentence. So you can just calculate like this in your mind. So is there anyone here who can tell me what is the first sentence? Which type is it?
Ma'am, compound sentence, the first one.
Is it a compound sentence? Can you please explain how you arrived at this answer?
We met rather few people who spoke English. Like we met rather few people. Even that is important, and even who spoke English is important. So that is two main clauses are there.
So who spoke English is also a main clause?
Yes.
Is it a question? If it is a question, ki who spoke in English, then I'm asking a question. Then that is a complete sentence. But this is a part of a sentence and it is not a question. So who spoke English is not a main clause. It is a dependent clause. Okay. So
Hello,
you
ma'am.
have, yes.
Ma'am, I think the first sentence is a complex sentence.
So why do you say it is a complex sentence?
Because the few people we met, they spoke English, means who spoke English is dependent.
Okay. So
And we met rather few people is independent clause.
And we met rather few people is independent. Very good. This is the correct answer. We met rather few people is the main clause. Who spoke English, since it is not a question, it is a dependent clause. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me write down the answer here. This is a complex sentence. Okay, please unmute your, sorry, please mute yourself. Let me go back to my screen. We have the answer here that this is a complex sentence. Now let us go to the second one. I have been on rather too many planes and trains recently. Anyone who'd like to try? So first let us identify how many verbs are here. How many action words are here? You have, I have been on rather too many planes and trains recently. I can see only one verb here, have been. Have been is the verb here. Let me underline the verb. Here in the first sentence, met is the verb and spoke is the verb. All right. So I have been on rather too many planes and trains recently is a one single clause, one main clause. So anything which has only one main clause and there is no phrase also.
Simple sentence.
Correct. It is a
It's a
simple
simple
sentence.
Simple
Perfect.
sentence.
Yes, yes. So let me now write the answer. This is a simple sentence. We have the answer here. Let us go to the third one. We drove right up to Helsinki in 2 days. So this is the name of a place. We drove. I can see how many verbs in this sentence. We drove right up to Helsinki in 2 days. I can see only one verb here, one action word here, and that is drove. But I would say that the whole sentence is not one main clause. It has one main clause and a phrase also. So, which do you think is the main clause here?
We drove right up to Helsinki.
Correct. We drove right up to Helsinki is the main clause, and in 2 days is
the subordinate clause, depending clause.
But where is the verb here for it to be called a subordinate clause? In 2 days, where is the verb? Where is the action word?
In.
It's a phrase.
Yes, it's a phrase because in is a preposition. Okay, in is a preposition. Preposition is where you place objects in relation to each other. That is the definition of a preposition. For example, the book is on the table. On is a preposition. The cat is under the chair. Under is a preposition. So where is one object or one thing in relation to another? That word which signifies it is called a preposition. Let us see. In this sentence, 2 minutes ago the child was fast asleep, but now he is wide awake. There is no preposition here. He is not tall enough to be a soldier. To is a preposition here. Okay, and I have got 4 sisters and each of them is quite different from the others. Here from is the preposition. You can either come with me now or walk home. In this sentence, with is a preposition. So I think you have an idea about prepositions. On, in, for, of, with, under, over, to, towards. All these words are called prepositions. Verb is verb. Verb is an action word. So in 2 days, no action word is there. So it is a phrase. So that is why you rightly mentioned which type of a sentence did you mention this is?
Complex.
Simple.
It is a simple sentence. For it to be a complex sentence, it has to have one subordinate clause, but we don't have a subordinate clause here. All right. Now let us go to the fourth one. I don't care how expensive it is. How many verbs are there? Anyone can point out the verbs in this sentence, action words?
Care.
Okay.
Don't care.
Yeah, don't care. I do not care. So this is one verb, correct? Any other verb is there?
It is.
Okay, it to nahi aayega, but is a verb. Yeah, correct. Very good. You have identified 2 verbs. That means you know that 2 clauses are there. Because 2 verbs are there, 2 clauses are there. So if you see, I don't care, looks like a complete sentence. It is a main clause. And how expensive it is not a question, but it is a dependent clause. So I have here one main and one dependent clause. Which sentence does it make it correct? Complex. Let me write something. Yeah. So now this becomes a complex sentence. I don't care is the main clause. How expensive it is the subordinate clause. Now you may wonder, अगर मैं बोलता हूँ कि how expensive is it? It is. When you are asking a question, you'll be saying how expensive is it? Then it is a complete sentence with the question mark. Then only it will be main clause. But if I don't ask it like a question, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying is it. I'm saying how expensive it is. without a question mark, then it is not a question, it is a dependent clause. Now let me go to the fifth sentence. 2 minutes ago, the child was fast asleep, but now he is wide awake. How many verbs are here in this sentence? Can anybody identify the verbs?
Ma'am,
Was far asleep.
Was
Yes.
fast asleep.
Okay.
And second is wide awake.
Is wide
Okay.
awake.
Perfect. Very good. So actually, I am going to underline these things you told me, but I would like to make one more comment on this. All right. Thank you. You can mute yourself and I'll give you the explanation. Actually, if I say was asleep, that also is a verb, but was fast asleep, fast is adding more meaning. It is a description. It becomes a part of the verb, and such type of verbs which are extended verbs are called verbal clauses. All right. But you don't have to worry about that. Is wide awake? Is the verb here. Is awake or is wide awake. All three also can come into a verb. It is a verbal clause. Now, if I say 2 minutes ago, the child was fast asleep. I have already broken this part of the sentence into two parts. The first part is 2 minutes ago, which is a phrase here. So 2 minutes ago till here it is a phrase. The child was fast asleep is a main clause, but is a conjunction. Conjunction is a word that that joins two main clauses. Now he is wide awake. That is another main clause. So the child was fast asleep is one main clause. He is wide awake is the second main clause. But is the conjunction. Now can be added along with the second main clause itself. So I have here one phrase 2 minutes ago, one main clause, the child was fast asleep, second main clause, now he is wide awake, and but joining two main clauses. So I have two main clauses and one phrase. I'd like to go back to my first screen and make an addition there. When I say main clause has more main clauses, more subordinate clauses, I wish to add here, it can also have phrases. Nobody can prevent a compound sentence from adding phrases. So please make this addition here. Phrase also can be a part of a compound sentence. But minimum two main clauses should be there, just as we have it in our in this particular sentence. Okay, so I am going to write here that this is a compound sentence. Let us go to the sixth one. He is not tall enough to be a soldier. This is slightly tricky. Who is going to answer this? To be is what?
Miss to be is a verb. He is not
is also a verb.
Is this a verb, all right? Is
Yeah.
tall. Yeah, is not tall.
Is
Take
not
it anyway.
is a verb. And
right.
to be a soldier is a subordinate clause because it has a verb. And he
Which
is
is
not
the
tall
verb?
enough. Yes,
Which is the verb? Which is the verb?
To be.
Array, to. That is why I said it is tricky. Okay, thank you so much. Please mute yourself.
Ma'am, to be is a preposition.
To is a preposition. Sorry, not a. Yeah. Yes. To is a preposition, but be is not a preposition.
Okay.
Okay.
Be is a verb.
Be is a verb. You are right, but it is not a verb here. I'll explain that to you why. When you have a preposition, now when I say is, was, are, were, am, these I told you are 5 auxiliary verbs. These are helping verbs. The root form of is, was, are, were, and am is be. So be is also a verb. But when a preposition comes before a verb, for example, it is here to be a soldier. This becomes a phrase, not a clause, because here be is not a verb. If I give you a sentence like be silent, okay, or be obedient, or be active, then I am saying be active together is a verb. Only be is not a verb. All right. So just like is can be a verb on its own. Is tall, okay, but in sentence, in a sentence like he is a boy, उसमें तो is not a supporting, it is not a supporting verb, it is not an auxiliary verb, it is the main verb. Is can be a main verb. In the same way, be also can be a main verb, but when it is having a preposition immediately before it, right before it, to be a soldier, then it is not a verb. Just like we had it in our previous slide here, in our previous thing. For example, when I say only the word having, the train having 12 coaches may having not a verb, but if I add is having, then it becomes a verb. And what is the rule? That when ing is there, then auxiliary verb is, was, are, were, am, उसमें से कोई भी एक चीज होनी ही चाहिए. It has to be there. In the same way, suppose in this sentence, the boy, if I cancel this, the boy wearing a blue cap is my brother, may wearing is not a verb. Why is it not a verb? It is having ing, but it is not having an auxiliary verb. So this is the confusing part of it. Wearing alone is not a verb, but is wearing is a verb. In the same way, let us go to this second slide and come back here. He is not tall enough is a clause because it can stand on its own. To be a soldier is a phrase. Isme be is not a verb. Okay. So just,
Ma'am?
yeah, please tell me, what is it?
Ma'am, if I say you should be studying, then will be a verb?
Auxiliary verb. Be studying together is a verb.
Okay.
Okay, should be studying, even that you can take it up as a verbal clause. You can take that also. Or be studying also is a verb. But here, to be a soldier is a phrase. So I have this sentence here with one main clause. He is not tall. So I'm going to write here, is the verb here. And he is not tall is the main clause. To be a soldier is a phrase. So I have one main clause and one phrase. Which type of a sentence is it?
Simple sentence.
Simple sentence.
Correct. All of you have given me the right answer. It is a simple sentence. We are now going to the, seventh sentence. I guess she doesn't respect you. I guess she doesn't respect you. What is the word that is understood here? Now, this is also another tricky sentence. Let me explain this to you. I would say which are the verbs here. I would underline the verb guess.
Yes.
Guess is a verb, correct?
Doesn't.
Doesn't respect. Does not respect is a, because does plus respect. Does not plus respect. Doesn't respect. Everything, the whole thing is a verb there, action word. Two action words are there, so very clearly two clauses are there. So if two clauses are there, definitely it cannot be a simple sentence. It has to be either complex or it has to be compound. Now here is where the trick comes in. When you read it as I guess, it looks like a subordinate clause because you think, Arey, what do you guess? But actually it is the main clause. Now, if you just read it on its own, She just doesn't respect you. Can all of you mute yourself, please? Yeah, thank you. So if I just say she just doesn't respect you, then it looks like as if it can stand on its own. She just doesn't respect you. It looks like a complete sentence, but actually here it is not the main clause. Now you would wonder, how is that possible? I guess bolne se doesn't look like a complete sentence, but it is a main clause. She just doesn't respect you sounds like a complete sentence, but it is not a main clause. It is a subordinate clause. How is that possible? Let us see here. There is an understood word here, that. This word is understood. I'll come to you. I'll come back and tell you what this means. Just a second. Okay. Coming back here. Sometimes there are certain words which are understood. They are not mentioned. Actually, grammatically, it is, I guess that she just doesn't respect you, but that is understood, not written here. This is how we use it in the spoken word. When we do the writing with perfect grammar, that has to be there. If it is not there, it is understood that it has to be there. In that case, when that precedes or comes before a clause, that she just doesn't respect you, then it becomes a subordinate clause, because the word that makes it a dependent sentence. For it to be another main clause, then it has to have a conjunction, like we had it in sentence number 5. Here you have but, which is a conjunction. So if two main clauses are there, a conjunction is compulsory. But here again there is a trick. Sometimes even without the conjunction, like I have it in even in the 9th sentence, right? Conjunction is there. So conjunction has to be there to join two sentences. Sorry, join two main clauses. But definitely I can even create a sentence without a conjunction but with two main clauses. Now I'm not going to confuse you with that because they are rare sentences. Of course, I will give you example on that also. But now, I guess is the main clause. She just doesn't respect you, with that understood, is a subordinate clause. So this is actually one main and one subordinate clause. Which sentence will you call it?
Complex.
Yes.
Complex.
Yeah, complex. I write it down here. Complex. We now go to the 8th sentence, but before we go to the 8th sentence, we have 4 more minutes for our class to get over. I would like to give you give you a chance to ask me questions in case you want to ask. Generally, in every class, last 5 minutes, we'll have question answer time. Okay. If there's any question you want to ask, you can ask me. Suppose you don't have a question, then we will go to the 8th sentence. But if you have, yeah, please.
Ma'am, can you explain once more the 7th last sentence which we did right now? I guess she just doesn't respect you.
All right, I'll explain that. Apart from that, any other question is there?
If two or more sentences are combined with a conjunction, what type of sentence it is?
Compound. Two or more main clauses.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Then it is compound sentence. Yes, Vanishri wants to ask something.
I asked.
You asked. Okay. Anybody else who wants to ask?
Ma'am, in 5th sentence, that after you told about that conjunction, so I didn't got that.
Conjunction is a joining word. Conjunction is a. I said conjunction is a joining word. joining words such as but, and, or. These are conjunctions. Conjunctions are joining words that join two clauses together so that those two main clauses form a part of a single sentence. So these joining words are called conjunctions.
Ma'am, is it
Yes.
possible for me to create a sentence with the help of these conjunctions which has more than 3 clauses?
Yeah. Yes, you can have more than 3 clauses. Main clauses also more than 3 you can have. You can have 2 main, 1 subordinate. They are also 3 clauses. There can be 3 main clauses also. In my next class, I will give you more. When I give you more sentences, I will give you examples of sentences where 3 main clauses are there. I will give you example of sentences where main clauses are there in the same sentence without a conjunction, still it is a compound sentence. That also I will give you.
Okay.
Anyone else wants to ask me any question? Or can we go back to the 7th sentence and revise it once again?
Miss, you
Yes,
said that makes a sentence means that makes it a depending clause,
correct,
right?
correct.
So is
Yes.
it in every sentence that the word that makes every sentence a depending clause?
Only if the clause is there after the word that. If the clause is not there, and if I just say that is my pen, then that is not a dependent clause. That is a main clause. That is my pen.
Okay,
Only
so
if subordinate clause is there, and before the subordinate clause I add words such as who, which, when, where,
okay,
because, that, and then if I'm adding these words before a subordinate clause, then it will become a uh, uh,
depend
then it will become,
depend
yeah, then
a
it will become
depending
a
sentence.
dependent clause. I mean, if I remove this word na, then it can become a main clause also, but then instead
Okay,
of this word, conjunction should be there.
okay,
But
miss.
if conjunction is not there, then such words like I mentioned to you, these
That
should be
uh
that, which, when,
okay. Hmm.
who, where, because. All these are words which make it a dependent clause. Otherwise, if these words are not there, and if I remove this word and if I put a conjunction in its place, it will be converting into
Com
compound sentence,
compound
because
sentence.
subordinate clause is changed into a main clause.
Okay, miss.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So we will do one thing. In my next class, I will continue from the 7th sentence. I will re-explain the 7th sentence. Somebody asked me for the 7th sentence. Is it okay? I explain it
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
next
No
class.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because we are advised to give students a 10-minute break between 2 lectures. So your next lecture will be at 9 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much, students. I
Thank
take
you,
your
ma'am.
leave. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
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 Yes. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.